Since I've been producing this book and I've talked to people, the first question that farriers usually ask is, what am I going to get out of the book? And that's because they're used to me producing textbooks where there's knowledge in them, techniques in them, and everything from anatomy and physiology to how you glue a shoe on. So this project isn't like that at all. This really is totally separate. It's in many ways my tribute to the farrier. It's supposed to be a celebration of farriers all over the world and trying to show some recognition of both the breadth of their work, the types and range of horses, and just the different environments that they work in. So farriers really will get from it, I think, already I'm sure most of them love our craft, but they'll get a greater love of it, and hopefully their partners and their spouses and their families will get to see how important our job is and its breadth. Now, will they actually learn anything technical from it? Well, I think they will, because there's lots of different working situations and setups that they'll see. And I realised by the time I finished the book that I had quite a habit of photographing the shoes laying about the forge or on the floor where they're working. And so actually, again, just the variety of horseshoes farriers will see, and I'm sure they'll quite enjoy picking out the different shoes and thinking, well, why do they differ from country to country, from breed to breed, and from activity to activity. So the farrier consists of farriers, obviously, from all over the world. Let's have a potluck and just see what countries we can come up with. So let's just at random have a look. Well, we're down in Melbourne, Victoria. I know this is John Bunting, and he was shoeing a racehorse, and he was gluing shoes onto a racehorse down there when I visited. Ryan Harris Hayes is a Maori, and I caught up with him in New Zealand. He's in the North Island, and he's also a hammer maker. As you can see, these are basically his prototype hammers, but he's quite a guy, and of course anybody that thinks England's wet needs to go to New Zealand, where parts of it's just non-stop raining. Did the whole day that I was with Ryan. We managed to get a podcast, so as with about 19 others in this book, you can actually look at the pictures of them and then listen to their words on our podcast, The Hoof of the Horse. Ryan's a very keen hunter, and as a traditional Maori, he explained to me the meanings of the tattoos. They're not just there for decorative reasons, they have great meaning to the Maoris. Last year I went to Singapore and caught up with Paul Summers. He's the head farrier for the Singapore Turf Club, and you can see I got some really nice pictures. This is early morning, very moody, stormy clouds there in the tropical island of Singapore, and we went racing. And Paul's jobs range quite wide, from supervising the race day shoeing to training apprentice farriers, and we can see him there in the very nice shop the Singapore Turf Club has. Kako Moraes is the podiatrist in my book, and I caught up with him in Brazil. He started as a veterinary surgeon, and then he converted to being a farrier, and he has a very good practice. He's coming towards the end of his career, and he has a number of acolytes, really, not least Henan Modesto, who you can see in this picture, and they often work together at the riding club in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But he also goes on stud farms, and so I had the opportunity to visit him for a couple of days, and we went to some really beautiful stud farms, mainly quarter horse stud farms. Okay, let's have another potluck and see who we come up with. So this is Rifat Kemal, and this was on the Red Sea, which is the warmest sea on earth and therefore gets lots of tourists over on the edge of the Sahara Desert. So Rifat actually hails from Cairo but travels down the Red Sea, going to mainly the tourist spots and shoeing the horses that tourists ride across the beaches and go on treks. He's used to shoeing show jumpers, but I think for the general trekking horses, they don't really go anywhere apart from along the beach. And I came across this in El Gouna in the Red Sea, which was a giant fish, and this is actually about 5 foot tall, made out of mule shoes. So I thought, well, I'll put that in because it was near the stables on the Red Sea where I photographed Rifat. Well, this is where the money is. This was Florida, and it's Wellington, where I have never seen so much ostentatious equine wealth. And there's about 400 farriers shoe down there during the season, and I would say none of them are going bankrupt. Right, let's have a look. Let's have another pot look. Well, we got Beanie here, Stephen Bean, 5 times world champion. I hope I haven't done him out of a world championship, but I caught him shoeing on his everyday round, and he actually does one of the 3 remaining breweries in the UK that has draft horses, and they're in Tadcaster. I caught him shoeing the draft horses and also on his everyday round. So world champion one day, out doing a normal round like the rest of us. When I went to Sweden to lecture in Skara at one of the farrier schools there, I met up with Amanda, and Amanda was a student at this school and is now a part-time instructor. So she has 3 days of her own work and a couple of days of instructing at the school. Many farrier schools around the world use that system, and I think it's quite healthy that the instructors get out and shoe horses. But Amanda was shoeing a trotter while I was there for a trainer, and trotter trainers are renowned for telling the farrier what they want. But he thought the world of Amanda, and that was quite clear that they had a good discussion about the shoeing, and then she got on with it. I had to put the next generation of Curtis farriers in, so I'm in Newmarket here on my home territory, catching up with Adam. Now let's have one more dip into this book, and well, we're in South Africa, so we're very far south, and Mozi Jika, who sadly passed away since the book, so he won't be able to see this, is shoeing a racehorse there in Durban, and what a lovely fella he was. And Durban, or the area there, Summerfelt, is quite remarkable to go and visit and see the racehorses trained there.